A powerful explosion occurred on the Ryazan-Moscow main oil pipeline in the Ryazan region, which led to the suspension of oil product deliveries to the Russian capital. This was reported by Ukrainian media with reference to sources in the Main Intelligence Directorate of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. According to sources, a major fire broke out after the explosion at a section of the pipeline near the village of Bozhatkovo, with firefighters, police and repair crews arriving at the scene. Local residents report extensive damage, a protected area and closed access to the accident site. According to the Main Intelligence Directorate, the pipeline has been used by Transneft since 2018 to transport motor gasoline, including for the needs of the Russian army. After the explosion, fuel pumping towards Moscow was suspended for an indefinite period. The Ryazan-Moscow main oil product pipeline leads directly to the territory of the Moscow oil refinery in Kapotnya, the capital of the Russian Federation. About 197 kilometers long, it is designed to transport oil products from the Ryazan region to Moscow. Along the way, it passes through the Moscow region, including the regions of Leninsky and Ramensky districts, then enters the capital's Kapotnya district and approaches the MNPZ. This pipeline is one of the key links in Moscow's fuel supply. The explosion has interrupted the transportation of oil products to the capital, and Moscow's energy system may face disruptions in the near future. This is not the first attack on Russian oil infrastructure in recent weeks. Oil refineries in the Volgograd, Rostov and Samara regions, as well as fuel depots in the Krasnodar region, were damaged. Ukraine also disabled the Druzhba oil pipeline by blowing up pumping stations. The Ukrainian side views all these attacks as a response to Russia's constant attacks on Ukrainian energy and civilian infrastructure. The Russian army, including aviation and equipment in the southern direction, depend on uninterrupted fuel supplies. Damage to pipelines and refineries could eventually cause supply disruptions, reduce mobility, and affect the logistics of the Russian armed forces. For the civilian sector, this means increased tension in major cities, including Moscow.
Satellite images of the consequences of the Ukrainian UAV attack on the Novoshakhtinsk refinery have been released. It seems that most of the crude oil tanks with a volume of 80,000 cubic meters were destroyed. The pipeline overpass and the KAMAZ trucks of the Ministry of Emergency Situations were also damaged. Satellite imagery from Makhar also confirms that a Ukrainian armed forces drone strike on August 21 at the Novoshakhtinsk oil refinery in Russia's Rostov region resulted in the complete destruction of 6 storage tanks and damage to 2 others. Authorities in southern Russia's Rostov region said that a large fire at the Novoshakhtinsk oil refinery was extinguished early Tuesday, almost a week after a Ukrainian drone strike set the facility ablaze. The refinery, which produces fuel mainly for export, was attacked on Thursday night. Firefighters battled the blaze for days, using so much water that nearby communities faced shortages until supplies were restored on Monday. I just received a report that the fire at the Novoshakhtinsk oil production plant was extinguished at 5:45 a.m., acting Rostov region governor Yuri Slyuser wrote on Telegram. Novoshakhtinsk, with a processing capacity of 110,000 barrels of oil per day, is considered one of the most important oil refineries in southern Russia. Located around 10 kilometers east of the border with Ukraine, it is regularly targeted in drone attacks. Recent Ukrainian drone strikes on Russian oil refineries have pushed wholesale gasoline prices to record highs and triggered shortages, coinciding with peak seasonal demand from farmers and tourists. Reuters estimates that 17% of Russia's refinery capacity, or 1.1 million barrels per day, has been disrupted. Meanwhile, Governor Slyuser said overnight Ukrainian drone strikes damaged homes in the Rostov region but did not cause any deaths or injuries.
Обрадовались, что все.
Уралы, КамАЗы. Вот Урал Next сгорел полностью. Вот такая херня. Там тоже Уралы стоят. Вот оно все в мазуте. Все. Не в мазуте, а в нефти. Не обработано. Дотла выгорел. Вот этот КамАЗ с ПСЧ тоже дотла выгорел. Сюда пошел мазут, когда взрыв произошел. Вон бочки все погоревшие. Взорвался. И горящий мазут пошел сюда. Вот все в мазуте. А вон машины погоревшие. Пожарные. Новые.
А ты что, не мог сюда убежать, блядь? Нахуя? Так точно. А что ты сюда не убежал? Третий прием. Только обрадовались, что все.
Since the evening of August 25th, Russian forces have been deliberately attacking civilian transport on the Kherson-Mykolaiv highway. The head of the Kherson Regional State Administration, Alexander Prokudin, reported this on Telegram. According to him, since last night, there has been high activity of Russian drones along the M14 Kherson-Mykolaiv highway. Since yesterday evening, we have been observing high activity of Russian drones along the M14 Kherson-Mykolaiv highway. The enemy is deliberately attacking civilian transport, he wrote on Telegram. Prokudin called on people not to travel along this route unless absolutely necessary. I also remind you that we promptly report the activity of Russian UAVs on the Radar Kherson Telegram channel. Take care of yourself, he added. Prokudin later noted that traffic restrictions are possible on the M14 Kherson-Mykolaiv highway. If enemy drones are detected, the road will be closed temporarily. Please take this into account when planning your trips and, if possible, choose another route. Together with the military, we are doing everything possible to stabilize the situation, he wrote. Earlier, media reported that a drone attack on a vehicle on the Kherson region highway was recorded in the stretch between the villages of Klapaya and Chornobayevka. It is recommended to monitor official operational updates and, if possible, choose alternative routes to reduce risks during drone activity on this stretch. If necessary, follow guidance from the responsible services and plan trips taking into account the road conditions to ensure your own safety and the safety of passengers.
Власне, наслідки вчорашньої атаки дронів на цивільне авто. Бачимо, одна машина стоїть, хендайка. Їдемо далі. І ось ще стоять машини, на жаль, які потрапили під атаку дронів. Ще одна навіть горить досі. І там ще одна машина. Тому, друзі, такі справи.